Invitez-nous chaque mardi à 7h30 pour nous tendre conversation communautaire. Non, moi c'est Jenan Saint-Fleur, moi pour petit segment ça pour nous célébrer communauté, pour nous célébrer monde qui travaille dans la communauté. Conversation communautaire sont un segment qui patronné par Radio Haïti Amérique Internationale avec Chris Stéphanie. Célébrer communauté, converser, faire conversation avec ressources que nous gagnons dans la communauté. Essayer de transformer connexion nous avec monde, transformer connexion nous avec situation. Si vous voulez patronner ou bien si vous voulez inviter dans ce segment ça, relais 954 638 83 21. Pas oublier brancher chaque mardi à 7h30 du soir pour nous connecter, pour nous célébrer, pour nous faire conversation à communauté.
Imaginez une communauté côté la paix embellie comme un jardin. Commissionnaire Melissa Dunn invite nous dans le mois de juin côté ville Lauderhill à célébrer la paix. Dimanche 1er juin à 3h PM dans mairie Lauderhill, nous va gagner un rassemblement la paix avec une voix ressource. Pendant tout le mois, participer dans planter jardin de paix, atelier pour jeunes avec adultes ou bien divers projets qui capable faire un pas. Visitez lauderhill.fl.gov/peace. Lauderhill côté nous choisir la paix.
Joining us today, Miss Melissa Dunn from the city of Lauderhill, an advocate for your community, an advocate for every region within the city of Lauderhill. And she has been in the forefront of many initiatives to uplift, empower, and unite Lauderhill. And I really say unite. Ms. Dunn, tell us, what is Lauderhill Peace 365 and why is it in the city of Lauderhill? Tell us also some numbers. Tell us about the demographics.
So Lauderhill Peace 365 is really a movement, DJ. A movement to do three things. Number one, it's to help people to take a pledge for peace so that they can make peace personal every day. It's a choice, right? Mm-hmm. Secondly, it's to understand the root cause of peace. So there's a research component. Once you understand the root cause of a problem, then you can come up with solutions to address it. And then the third thing is a communications campaign that we're hoping to inspire people to change their mindset and to change their behavior. That, in essence, is Lauderhill Peace 365. And anybody who would like to join the movement can go to the city's website, lauderhill-fl.gov/peace365, the number 365, and you can take the pledge and become a peace ambassador. So Lauderhill Peace 365 is a part of the Lauderhill Health and Prosperity Partnership, which really is a movement designed to improve health and well-being in the city of Lauderhill. We are committed to helping Lauderhill to become a safe, healthy, and prosperous city where families and businesses can thrive. That's my personal commitment, and that's the commitment of all 250 partners who work to make the city better. And the Peace 365 movement is important, and I'm going to share the numbers. So 2020 alone, the city of Lauderhill recorded over 140 confirmed shooting, 420 domestic violence arrests, and 2,175 domestic disturbance calls. Now, this is all evidence of our ongoing challenges. And Peace Month, which we kick off on June 1st, offers both the space for healing and a platform for action. We want to rally together for peace and become a part of the solution.
Imaginez une communauté côté la paix embellie comme un jardin. Commissionnaire Melissa Dunn invite nous dans le mois de juin côté ville Lauderhill à célébrer la paix. Dimanche 1er juin à 3h PM dans mairie Lauderhill, nous va gagner un rassemblement la paix avec une voix ressource. Pendant tout le mois, participer dans planter jardin de paix, atelier pour jeunes avec adultes ou bien divers projets qui capable faire un pas. Visitez lauderhill.fl.gov/peace. Lauderhill côté nous choisir la paix.
So tell us, throughout your program, what partnership have you formed or have Lauderhill Peace 365 been able to form to help it be a success?
A lot of people, I want to preference this conversation or anchor this conversation by mentioning the Lauderhill Health and Prosperity Partnership, a collaborative movement to make the city of Lauderhill safe, healthy, and prosperous. And it's a group of organizations and individuals, including nonprofits, churches, business groups, residents, and young people working together to make Lauderhill better. One community, one vision, a connected Lauderhill, inspiring change based on the philosophy that government can't do it alone, that we all need to work together in order to create the Lauderhill that we want to see. So this Peace 365 movement is a joint initiative. And the way LHPP works, you have committees of people working on different issues. So the committee that's working on Lauderhill Peace 365 is really housed in the Community Context Subcouncil, and they focus a lot on peace and connectivity and making sure that neighbors feel connected to each other. And so the subgroup that's working on this is chaired by Prophetess Monique Henry, who is the City of Grace, Florida. Dr. Jeanette Brooks George, unmute yourself, she's a really brilliant PhD in psychology and criminology. And then you have Madeline Noel, who is, I know, the founder and chair of the Haitian Mobilization Committee. Also a Lauderhill proud ambassador. And then those are the three women, along with Denise Pendergrass, who is a Lauderhill Shine alumni. She's an entrepreneur in the city of Lauderhill, and she's a member of the Broward St. George Estates Homeowners Association. Those four women are really helping to drive the Peace 365 movement in the city of Lauderhill. We are partnering with Peace Month with Children's Services Council of Broward County. We just are in the process now of doing a memorandum of understanding with Broward County schools to put peace clubs in Lauderhill schools. We're piloting that with the school board. And then United Way of Broward County are all partners. I think everybody can agree that they want a more peaceful community. And with the advent of Lauderhill Peace 365, that's the vehicle through which we can collaborate to make that happen.
How do you get all different communities to come as one? And what's going to happen that day, June 1st? And why did you choose June 1st?
Yeah. So I think that everybody has a dream for their family. Everybody have a dream for themselves. Everybody has a dream for our community. The beautiful part about LHPP is that there's room for you because our work focuses on addressing what's known as the social determinants of health. No matter what it is that you're passionate about, there is a seat for you at the table. So if you are a retired teacher or current educator and education is important to you, or you're a stay-at-home mom who really want to see your children go to a better school than what we have in Lauderhill, and you're willing to be a part of the solution, well, we have an education committee. You know, if for you, you are a caretaker or you have been a nurse, like a lot of people in our community have worked in healthcare, and that's something that's important to you, well, we have a healthcare committee. If you want to see a safer community where people have access to food and neighbors helping neighbor, then, you know, we have a community committee. If the environment is important to you and you want to see us recycle more, you want to see us have, you know, great sidewalks and bike lanes, and where you want to see us with quality water and quality air, where there's a built environment committee. If you are like others, DJ, where entrepreneurship is something you're passionate about, you want to make sure that small businesses have access to capital. You want to make sure that small businesses have the capacity that they need in order to start and scale a business in Lauderhill. There's an economic mobility committee. So for every issue that you feel passionate about, there's a seat at the table for you. Now, the work is community driven, right? But it is also data driven. We did a community needs assessment with interviews and focus groups and surveys and looking at data to identify what the top challenges are the city is facing. What are the top challenges that we're facing in a community? We gave that data to the committee and we said, okay, it's a lot of data. We have a lot of problems. We got to focus. Pick your top 4 priorities. And so they did. They picked their top 4 priorities. And out of that, we developed an action plan. So now the committees are working together to make a dent in that action plan. And I'm sure that, you know, we will revisit that plan maybe in another 2 years and really align it more closely with the city's strategic plan. But my point in saying all of this, DJ, is that if you want to see change in the city of Lauderhill and you're willing to do more than complain about it, want to be part of the solution, then LHPP is a great vehicle where you can lend your passion, lend the work of your hands, lend your heart, lend your brain to work collaboratively with others in order to create the change and to be the change you want to see in the city.
Want to see. That's exactly what I was going to say. Be the change that you want to see.
Absolutely. And so whether you're a senior citizen or a young person, everybody has a seat at the table if you want it.
And today we urge you not only to pledge, but to do an action. And I like the way you laid out how you plan to transform this culture of violence into a culture of peace.
To answer your question, you asked why June? And we chose June because June is Gun Violence Awareness Month. And so I got elected in 2020. And in 2021, we had our first gun violence awareness initiative in the city of Lauderhill. And then in June of 2021, we did our first gun violence awareness initiative. And the first years we were doing gun buybacks. We were doing, giving out gun locks. We were having prayer meetings.
With the churches.
And then after a while, when we looked at the best practices, I realized, the guns that we collected were somebody's old 20, rifle from World War I and even though it was good to get those out of the streets, but the research just showed that wasn't the best practice. And so the next year we tweaked it. And then finally in maybe 2023, the idea came to me about Lauderhill Peace 365. Had Lauderhill Walk for Peace. We did that for 2 years. And this year, my colleague is actually doing the same event in June. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to pivot. There's now the Lauderhill Walk for Peace that I used to do for 2 years is now being done by someone else. And it's being called the Unity Walk. So there's no need to compete because we all have an opportunity to be a part of the solution. We were already deciding that youth was going to be a key space for us to bring this work to. So I decided this month when we do Lauderhill Peace Month that we were going to do a peace rally instead of a peace walk. So on June 1st from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., we will be at City Hall rallying for peace. And then we're going to be really hyper-focused on young people. I was in New York at the UN in October of last year receiving a humanitarian award for peace. And while I was at the UN, DJ, I saw this peace quilt hanging in the walls of the UN. And this quilt had really beautiful squares that really showed what peace meant to the people who created them, most of whom were young people. So we are partnering right now with the United Way, the Lauderhill Police Department, the Lauderhill Park Department to create peace quilt. So the kids are creating squares that they're painting and decorating, saying what peace means to them. And then we're giving the squares to an adult, to seniors. And the seniors are stitching it together to make a peace quilt. So at the rally, the children and the seniors are going to be unveiling the 2025 Peace Quilt. Wow. Yeah, we're also going to be, for the first time ever, going to be awarding Lauderhill Peacemaker Awards. So we're recognizing a young person that's been really advocating peace. We're going to recognize an officer of Lauderhill PD that's been a community officer that's really working hard on being a peacemaker in the community. We're going to recognize a Lauderhill Peace ambassador that's been with this work, doing the work. And we're going to recognize a member of the clergy as well as a member of the community that is really a deserving peacemaker, that through this person's life, I can tell you that the area that he works in, crime has gone down because of his intervention.
How do you plan to measure the success or impact of that movement?
Well, I could tell you this. We are doing a baseline survey. So the pledge is actually a survey, number one. And number two, after that, we're doing a root cause analysis survey that we're really encouraging people to collect so that we can identify the root cause.
Mhm.
And then we're
Mhm.
also in Peace Month going to be doing a series of workshops, some for young people and some for adults. So that's going to help us to understand the issue. But the Peace 365 movement is about changing people's mindset and
Mhm.
giving them the tools to change their behavior. And that's really one important part of the peacemaking toolbox that we have in the city of Lauderhill. The other piece includes technology, like license plate reader, right?
Mm.
So if you steal a car and you drive through Lauderhill, you better believe we're going to catch you, okay? Number one. Number two, we have another technology that allows us to pinpoint with very, very, very accurate data where the gunshot goes off. If the gunshot goes off in Lauderhill, this technology will alert the police and the police will be able to respond quickly. In the past, we relied on the community to call us to tell us, oh, a
Mhm.
gunshot might have
I
gone off.
heard something that sounded like a gunshot.
Correct. And then now you're driving around trying to figure out where it is while the person is bleeding out on the ground, right?
Mhm.
So we have that technology. We have an amazing group of men and women in the Lauderhill Police Department that are well trained, well supported, and passionate about doing the work of protecting all 75,000 residents in the city. And so coupling the technology with superior policing, with community policing techniques, plus in addition to that, with the work that is being done around domestic violence, with working with victims, we are hoping that Lauderhill Peace 365 then becomes the glue that potentially can give people the tools to manage their emotions so that it doesn't get to the point where they need a gun or they're using words to
Or
traumatize
violence.
each other.
Mhm.
It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's long term. Because I can tell you with my own personal journey towards being more peaceful and kinder that it's taken me from when I first started to intentionally try to cultivate peace to now 3 years later where my automatic reaction wasn't to flip the guy back off.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's a journey.
I
It's
know,
like
I'm being
life. Yeah,
truthful. I'm being 100% truthful. Sometimes I do want to flip
100%.
the guy.
Yes,
Listen,
and people need to look at themselves.
Yes. And people, it's not, listen, if you don't have haters in this world, it means that you're not doing your job right. Right. And I do have some haters. And when they come at me, I do want to respond and to react, but I
Yes.
don't. Why? Because I believe in living out my faith and practicing what I preach.
Oftentimes it just goes up. And when you were talking about flipping, so I'm from New York, and you flip me, I flip you back. And here's one thing that made me stop. It was my son. You know how that happened? So I'm driving and somebody did it to me. And as I wanted to just go back and do it, and I was thinking, what if it was my son's teacher?
Oh, that's good.
How does
That's
he look?
good.
How would she look at him? Because she would remember me. Because she cuts me off, and if I want to do that. But I was in that space in my life where I was angry about a lot of things. And that's what resonates with me when you say you have to get peace first. It has to come within. You can't give what you don't have.
Yeah. Well,
So,
the thing is that you got to be peaceful and kind to yourself.
True.
So think about it. Sometimes the way how we talk about ourselves, if somebody were to talk about you like that out loud, you'd be ready to fight.
Yes, you would be ready to fight.
And so and hurt people. So
Yes.
This practice of cultivating peace and kindness, I believe, is really transformative. And I believe that this is a movement that when it grows root is going to pay off for every person who practices it. I believe that with all my heart.
I believe the strategies that you are using through community engagement will definitely ensure a long-term sustainability. And as you call it, 365, it's going to be a year-round engagement. How could neighboring cities learn from this Lauderhill approach of creating a peace-centered community? Because I often hear people say, well, this crime started here and they were running after them and then they ended up there.
Yeah, that happened.
Can other cities, I always see you beyond Lauderhill because I've
Oh,
known you
thank
before
you.
Lauderhill.
Yeah.
How can other cities benefit from that? Because I know this is not just for you to just keep for yourself. It's a
Call
gift
me.
of
I'll
giving.
share. Call
For
me.
sure.
I'm happy to share. Yeah, because here's the thing. I believe that there's certain issues that go beyond borders. You're right. You can start doing something in Lauderhill and cross the street, and all of a sudden you're in Sunrise or Tamarack. I am happy to share. I, work really well with my colleagues in neighboring cities, and I have great relationships with all of them. I am currently on the board of Broward League of Cities. And I'm on the board of for now until the end of the month. And my colleagues voted somebody else to represent the city on that board. But I'm also on the board of the National League of Cities. I'm the Florida director for the National Black Caucus of Local Elected Officials. I'm on the board of directors for Women in Municipal Government. And I'm very active in the Florida League of Cities. I do get a chance to talk to my colleagues, not only across Broward, but across the state. And I am happy to share because my one intention and my one wish really is to be a source of good and work with other people to impact lives, transform communities, and advance global understanding. That is my personal mission. And I do it as an entrepreneur. I do it as a woman. I do it as a philanthropist. And I certainly do it as an elected official. And DJ, you know me well enough to know that whether I'm sitting on the dais in Lauderhill or not, I will still be doing this work. So
Yes.
I am happy to share anything that I know with anyone who would like to collaborate, because it's all about creating a kingdom that is helpful and where people thrive regardless of where they live.
And I was going to say, you forgot to say, as a woman of faith, because you need to have faith in yourself and other people in order for you to go through this journey, because oftentimes people see you when you're all well put sitting at the dais or outside, but they don't know everything that's happening, just like I did last time for the power of relation. And thank you so much for your support, not only when I call upon you for business meeting for the children. You helped us recently with the Marlins game, because the kids that you are helping, though it was Haitian Heritage Month, you are there for us. What has been the most powerful or emotional moment to you since you launched Lauderhill Peace 365?
Wow, that's a great question. I can tell you the one moment that made me realize that this is really an assignment and not a job or a political position. Maybe about a year or two ago, a 17-year-old child in one of our neighborhoods was outside after school talking to his friends, and one of them pulled out a gun and shot him. Prophetess Monique, who chaired my leading ladies circle at the time, invited me to, her husband was doing the funeral, right? It was part of the clergy team that was supporting the family. So I went to the funeral. When she told me what happened, I went to the funeral. It's a Haitian family, by the way, DJ. And I have never in my whole life, and I lost a child myself. So I know the pain of losing your son. I have never in my whole life felt such visceral pain as the sound of that mother and that grandmother wailing at having to bury that 17-year-old little boy. I felt it at the, in Jamaica, I'm Jamaican, and I said that in Jamaica, I felt it at the bottom of my belly, felt it. And I said, no, never, 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 never. As long as I breathe, if I have the opportunity to help to make sure that children are brought up in an environment where they can bloom and feel loved and feel safe, it is my responsibility. It is my mission. And so Lauderhill Peace 365 is anchored. So when people try to stop the work or try to stop the movement and I get energized, it's because it is beyond politics. It is a commitment that I will have for the rest of my life, whether or not I am in business, in politics, whatever. It is part of my responsibility. It's part of my assignment is to make sure that children and families have the opportunity to feel safe, healthy, and prosperous. I'm committed to it.
Last question, as you're getting me emotional, it's because you mentioned domestic violence. What is your message to someone listening right now who feel powerless in the face of violence in their own community, whether it's from somebody who has more power, a boss, a child? We've had situations where children are beating on their grandparents, a wife, a domestic partners. What is your message to someone who feels powerless in the face of any kind of violence, verbal, physical, or emotional?
Well, you're not alone and you're loved. You're not alone and you're loved. No matter how it looks, there's hope and there's help. First, I would suggest that that person take control of their personal safety. And so you can talk to a friend, a trusted advisor, and certainly you can speak with the police and get yourself into a safe environment. So that's certainly the piece that I would say. And once you're in a safe environment, there are resources, particularly if you're the victim of gun violence, human trafficking, rape, incest. There are resources to help. And if you would like to be connected to resources, then I am going to ask you to reach out to me personally, and I'm happy to share the resources with you, especially if you're a resident of Lauderhill. You may text me at 786-728-7867 if you're a Lauderhill resident, and I'm happy to connect you to resources. You know, I've had people, DJ, that reach out to me because they're in a tough situation and they don't know who to call. You know, that's one of the good things about the LHPP program. We have a group of community paramedics who are navigators, if you will, that connect individual to resources. And we have an amazing victims advocate program through the police department that can also connect you to service. And if you maybe would prefer not to talk to the police yet, and you need maybe counseling, we have through LHPP a network of healthcare providers that we can refer you to. So I think it's number one, know that you're loved, know that you're not alone, hold on to hope, and get yourself to a safe place. 786-728-7867.
So when you say know that you are not alone, that means also that there's other people going through the same thing. So you need to connect with those people and see what works for you. You will be making the last decision. I want my audience to join you in embracing Lauderhill Peace 365, because it's not just a campaign. It's your commitment to making personal peace every single day.
Every single day. But I really want to issue a rallying cry. June 1st, Lauderhill City Hall at 3 o'clock. We need to rally together for peace. So if you're sick and tired of gun violence, if you are sick and tired of hearing about one more incident of somebody being beaten or being shot or being stabbed, and you believe that in this city we need to have peace, then I'm asking you to show up and stand shoulder to shoulder other people who are demanding an end to gun violence in the city of Lauderhill. It is our responsibility, in my opinion, to use our voice to demand change. Demand it. And, you know, unfortunately, common sense gun laws is not something that I, as a local elected official, can impact. But guess what? You're a voter. Show up and send a message that you believe that we deserve a peaceful, safe, and prosperous Lauderhill where everyone thrives. And so I'm issuing a rallying cry. And if you would like to get the link to register. The first 200 people would get a free Lauderhill Peace 365 t-shirt. You can text me as well, and I'll send you the link. 786-728-7867. So if you're going to text me to come join the rally, mention that and I will send you the link. If you're texting me because you want to be connected to resources, then you can say that as well. And we'll make sure that we get you connected.
So I would say, don't cry in silence. Rally together for peace at the Lauderhill Peace Rally. And that will be on a Sunday, June 1st, between 3 and 6. What it means, folks, is that after church, there's no excuse.
After church, yes, after church. Oh, and you know what I forgot to mention, DJ, is that not only is it a peace rally, but it's a resource fair as well. So
that's what I was going to mention.
We'll have resources to connect people to other things in the community.
So it's at the Lauderhill City Hall at 5581 West Oakland Park Boulevard. We're going to kick off Lauderhill Peace Month 2025 with, I would say, an inspiring afternoon of community healing, really healing. Because if you've been through it, you need to be your brother's keeper. Community action. Commissioner Melissa P. Dunn spoke about the unveiling of the Peace Quilt, which was created by the Lauderhill youth and sewn by the elderly. This is something that you have not seen. There would be the Peacemaker Award honoring local champions. So you could be there in a resource fair, and there will be at least 15 community vendors, resources that if you don't need, somebody else need. And I'm always there because I want to be able to connect others. There's going to be live performances, and you will know that we are kicking off the 21 days of prayers and fasting. She's a woman of faith. Prayers and fasting help you for peace and prosperity. Now, if you are not among the 200 first people, understand that you need to wear orange like me because you want to stand against gun violence. If you have not registered, you Google Lauderhill Peace 365, and if you cannot come, you gotta spread the word. But we will hope to not only see you, have you as volunteers, have you as partners, especially have you as ambassadors.
All right. I'll see you there, guys.
Commissioner Dunn is waiting for you. Building a culture of nonviolence, unity, and hope. Thank you so much, Commissioner Melissa P. Dunn, for all that you do, because you're doing what you're doing with your heart.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
And it's a blessing. It is a blessing.
Thank you, DJ. I really appreciate you. I know that you are LHPP partner. The Chamber was an LHPP partner from the very beginning. And you and I have been working together for years. Yeah. I want to thank you for being a voice of the community and for always advocating not only for the Haitian community and Haitian entrepreneurs, but to ensure that equity is a part of the lens that we serve the community through. So thank you for that.
Imaginez yon communauté côté la paix embellie comme yon jardin. Commissionnaire Melissa P. Dunn invite nous dans mois de juin côté ville Lauderhill à célébrer la paix. Dimanche 1er juin à 3h PM dans mairie Lauderhill, nous va gagner un rassemblement la paix avec yon voix ressources. Pendant tout mois, participer dans planter jardin de paix, atelier pour jeunes avec adultes ou bien divers projets qui capable faire impact. Visitez lauderhill.fl.gov/peaceman. Lauderhill côté nous choisir la paix.
M'invitez-nous chaque mardi à 7h30 pour nous tendre conversation communautaire. Non moins c'est Jeanne Saint-Fleur, moins pote petit segment ça pour nous célébrer communauté, pour nous célébrer monde qui travaille dans communauté. Conversation communautaire sont segment qui patronné par Radio Haïti Amérique Internationale avec Chris Stéphanie. Célébrer communauté, converser, faire conversation avec ressources que nous gagnons dans communauté. Essayer de transformer connexion nous avec moun, transformer connexion nous avec situation. Si vous voulez patronner ou bien si vous voulez inviter dans segment ça, relais 954 638 83 21. Pas oublier brancher chaque mardi à 7h30 du soir pour nous connecter, pour nous célébrer, pour nous faire conversation à communauté.
entendez parler